Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you my everyday makeup look. This is the finished product. So to start, I use my Jouer Luminizing Moisture Tint in Glow, and I already put that on before I started filming. And I just use my fingers to put it on, and then I do have some redness from old scars. I use Revlon's Colorstay UnderEye concealer in light, and I do like this one better than the other one because the other one has salicylic acid in it, so it dries you out really bad. And I don't smear the concealer on at all, I tap it on so that it blends better. And I pretty much cover any areas that are red or dark circles. Definitely have to get around the nose because it gets red around my nose. Next, I use my Studio Fix Pressed Powder from MAC in C35 and my really big MAC 150 brush. And I basically just tap this powder all over to set my jouer. I actually probably don't even really need my jouer because this powder covers so well. I love this pressed powder. I don't think I've ever loved a powder more than this one. And I basically tap and sort of sweep this on to set it and get rid of any other blemishes. As you can see already, it covers pretty well. And I do use a pretty light hand when I put this on. It doesn't look like it here, but if you use too much of this stuff, it actually starts to look really cakey, so you gotta kind of be careful and make sure you don't use it overboard. Next, I use my Benefit Dual Bronzer Highlighter. I think this one's called 10 or Perfect 10 or something like that, and my MAC 158 contouring brush. And I actually use this more as a blush bronzer than a contour color because I do have a separate color that I use for contouring, but I do use this to contour a little bit on my cheeks. After I put this stuff on, excuse me, I do move on to my MAC blush in Blunt, and this is the one I use primarily for contouring. And this you definitely have to have a light hand for, and that's a crown brush, by the way. You have to have a light hand for this because I do go along the edges of my face and along my forehead, and this helps with making my forehead look not so huge. And I do chisel my cheeks a teeny bit, not overboard, like I said, because I don't want to look like I'm from the 80s. And I don't do contouring every day, but I do like the way it makes my face look, and it does kind of add a little bit of a tan look to my face, so that helps with me not looking like Casper during the winter. Any areas that I kind of want to reduce down, I'll put this blush on, Blunt, and once I get tan, I'll probably have to move to a different color, but it works really good right now. And then next I'll use MAC Cream Color Base in Shell, and this is just used as a highlighter on the highest point of my cheeks. And I just tap this on because if you smear it around, then it like messes up your makeup real bad. So you just tap it on. And once I get enough of this on, because I don't use a whole lot of it, I'll go back to that Benefit Dual Highlighter Bronzer, and I will move to the other side of it to the pinkish side and use the highlighter to set that cream color base. Because if you don't set it, that cream color base will just end up smearing around all over your face and turning into a big nasty mess. And then I moved to my BH Cosmetics 10 Colors palette, the professional blush palette, and I use that pink in the lower left hand corner, just on the apples of my cheeks. And yes, that's a really, really old Urban Decay brush, so. And that just adds a nice pop of color. Next, I move to my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, and for this particular day, I decided to use that as my eye color base. Sometimes I'll use Paint Pots from MAC or Too Faced primer, but today I just felt like using the NYX. And what's nice about a white base is then the truest color of your eyeshadow will pop, which is really pretty. And then for my eyeshadow, I use BH Cosmetics 88 Colors palette, the matte palette. And I'll use these two colors. It's a really light peachy color and this nice pretty brown. And I use the peach just as like an all-over sweep of color base, basically. And it basically takes away any redness or veins that you can see. And really kind of opens up the eye because it's a nice pretty peach color. And I pretty much just pat that on my entire eyelid. Once I get my whole eyelid done, I'll take that brown and I pretty much concentrate the brown just on the lower part of my eyelid and go maybe a little tiny bit above my crease. And the goal is basically to create kind of like an arch of color, and it doesn't have to be perfect because I do end up blending it with a fluffy brush. So you can see I've already kind of started to get that arch of color. The eyebrow bone still has that light peachy color, and then I have an arch of that brown. Once I've gotten enough of the brown on, I will take a fluffy brush, and this one happens to be from Everyday Minerals. I don't know if you've heard of them, but I love that fluffy brush. It's so soft, and I just blend the brown and the peach together so that there's no harsh line at all. And if I have to, I'll go back in with a little bit more brown if I want to darken it up a little bit more and then blend again. And that's the difference between blended and not blended. And then to finish the eyes, I just kind of put a little bit more peach on my eyebrow bone just to make it pop. And then for eyeliner, I use the Naked palette by Urban Decay, and I use the color Hustle, not Toasted, because I pointed at Toasted. I was trying to point at Hustle, and it's that darker brown. And before I do any type of eyeliner, and that's a crown brush, I will curl my eyelashes, because if I curl them afterwards, it messes up my eyeliner. And for just everyday eyeliner, I just do from like the middle of my eye to the outer corner and just put a slight line and then kind of smudge it out a little bit. I used to use a lot of black eyeliners, pencils, and liquid eyeliners, but for everyday looks, I just kind of don't like that harsh black anymore. I use really dark browns instead. And this look that you see right here is pretty much how I will go to work sometimes. I won't even do mascara. just like that. And then I will take the MAC eyeshadow in charcoal brown, and I haven't actually used that as an eyeshadow so far. I use it for my eyebrows. And it is necessary for me to fill in my eyebrows because they are so light. You can't even see them from a distance, and I really jacked up my left eyebrow and it's having a hard time growing back in correctly because I went a little crazy with the tweezers. And this video kind of makes it look weird, but both eyebrows ended up being the same color in real life, but on the video my right one looks darker. And yes, I do use a toothbrush to move my eyebrows into place. And then my favorite mascara right now is the Makeup Forever Smoky Lash and there's me singing. I think yeah, it's extra black. One eye done, one eye not done. Big difference. And I don't really have any rhyme or reason as to how I put my mascara on, but I do always end up getting it on my eyelids. It doesn't matter how I put it on, what angle I put it on, I always end up getting it on my eyelid. So I use a pointed Q-tip to get rid of the mascara that I get on my eyelid. So this is pretty much the finished look, just one more step to go, besides me dancing. And the Stila lip glaze in Kitten is my favorite lip gloss right now. It's just a really pretty, neutral, kind of pinkish, not really, like champagne color. And as you can tell, I have so many steps to do my makeup, but in the end result, it almost looks like I'm not even wearing makeup, which is pretty much what I go for. So it's crazy that you do so many things for makeup just to make it look like you're not wearing makeup. So this is the end result, and I wear this almost on a daily basis. Sometimes a few steps are skipped, like contouring and mascara, but that's pretty much everything I'll do if I just want to look glamorous for the day. Thanks for watching, guys.